You have to see this. It makes me angry, but we're going to try to laugh about it. I think that's healthier. It's strange how much MAGA will root against themselves and America because they want Biden-Harris to fail. In this case, politically, they want Harris to lose. And so they'll wish for things that would be bad for, yes, other people, but them too. Watch how visibly distraught, distressed, and disturbed Larry Kudlow is, a Fox Business host, at the fact that the stock market's doing really well. And this is a reaction to the Fed cutting interest rates. Something that was expected, a pretty significant cut, but everyone on Fox is really irritated. Really, really irritated by this because it could help Vice President Harris electorally. Here's Kudlow, then we'll discuss.
So, day after Fed Chairman Jay Powell sent Kamala Harris a 50 basis point election gift and completely contradicted himself on the economy, whatever, the stock market roared. Okay, our own Jerry Willis on the story. Jerry, what's cooking?
Well,
Handing Kamala Harris an election gift that's making the stock market do really well. Here's to you. Hey, how about you're just happy? Just be happy. It's not that bad. I've been trying it lately. It's like really nice to just sort of do joy. It's fine. I'll address this is a sign that they've been lying to us about the economy talking point, but here's the reporting.
stocks are higher. Stocks surging today on hopes for a soft landing for the economy after the Federal Reserve slashed the Fed funds rate yesterday 50 basis points. The Dow in market action today up 522 points, the S&P up 95, the Nasdaq up 440. All three major averages hitting all-time highs after the best day for markets since August 5th, that is. The rally also lifting small cap stocks as investors' risk appetite was whetted by the Fed's accommodative stance. Nearly every sector rising, tech and consumer discretionary, of course, but also the stocks index, that's semiconductors, rising 4.8%, banks and energy higher as well. Meanwhile, markets are expecting more gas, fully pricing in a 25 basis point cut when the Fed meets in November. 42% of investors say it will be another half-point cut. Maybe the other critical number I should mention here, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage moving to 6.09%, down 11 basis points. Back to you.
All right. Good report, Jerry Willis. Thanks very much. All good for the Kudlow Trust. On the other hand, Jay Powell's 50 bips gift to Kamala Harris isn't a plan.
Kamala! I'll keep getting louder as they keep mispronouncing it. We are so appreciative of the thousands and thousands of people who've been subscribing every single day. So let's keep it going. Our race to 1 million subscribers. We're getting so close. Any of you who haven't already, please do click that subscribe button. Back to the video. A lot to address still. Don't worry. Hold.
And that's the subject of the riff. No matter how political Fed Chairman Jay Powell may be with his 50 basis points election gift to Kamala Harris, the person who helped the American economy the most.
Look at the look in his eyes. Kudlow, who hurt you? I'll give you a hug if that's what it'll take. Just despair. Larry, your portfolio's happy. Chill.
Was Donald Trump during the pre-pandemic first 3 years of his administration. Okay? New census numbers show real median income growth during Mr. Trump's pre-pandemic first 3 years compared to Joe Biden's. Overall take-home pay for typical families increased more than 5 times as much under Mr. Trump than under Biden. Up $6,000.40 for Trump versus just $1,050 under Biden-Harris.
Something fishy went on there, huh? Did he say the first 3 years of Trump versus the first 3 years of Biden? Really? Larry? Why didn't you throw in that fourth year at any part of this for Trump? because if you do the first 3 years of Trump and the first, as opposed to maybe the last three and the first three, is because the first three was before that big crisis where everything collapsed and Trump mismanaged it really badly and Biden had to pick up all the pieces. So yeah, I'm sure if you compare the pre-global crisis economy to a part, because he said the first three of Biden, so a big chunk of that was just us recovering from the crisis. You goober. God. Why did they get away with that? Prices went up this much. Okay, and what was happening in the world at the time? Oh, we had an orange guy who messed up everything he possibly could, handed a disaster and a public health crisis that he was mismanaging to his successors. There we go. Gosh, that took me a second to get out of my brain. And then went, I'm going to blame you for all of that now. But it's the constant talking point. We talked about in a different segment yesterday, by the way, this really interesting piece that explored the testimony of memory experts and psychologists and psychiatrists analyzing the collective amnesia that Americans are experiencing, where they've omitted from their memory the pandemic period because of the trauma that came with it. But with that comes a softer judgment of Trump's record and his leadership, which is benefiting him in the election. Really interesting. You can find that on the channel. But we've seen it with Trump at rallies. He'll say, oh, and if the economy is going to collapse, let it collapse soon. And one good jobs report after another, Fox News would run stories about, and they seemed irritated. And then, of course, they were really excited when there was that revision down at the end of the year. Just how about we all root for America? Let's just be patriotic and root for our economy. And then the point that they've been making is that the Fed cutting interest rates as they did, the 50 basis point cut, is a sign that the economy is worse than was proclaimed by Biden-Harris, by Jerome Powell. But in reality, the point that I made on yesterday's bonus show, you can get access to the members-only bonus show by clicking the join button below. We have a great time on it. Is what we've seen from the Fed during this recovery is a pretty effective job at facilitating the quote-unquote soft landing, at getting us faster and more aggressively out of the economic crisis compared to all of our counterparts. But then on our way back down, as we then slowed things down because of inflation, not overdoing it and causing a recession. And a lot of people, a lot of economists, a lot of Fox economists said this soft landing, it's a fantasy. It's not going to happen. You're going to have a serious recession. That's the only way you're going to get inflation under control. But given the decisions, yes, by Biden-Harris, as I've attributed a lot of credit to, with the policies they've implemented, but a lot of it's the Fed as well, we have really seen this magical soft landing happen, where we both got out of the crisis effectively, brought down inflation faster than every other country, and didn't cause a recession. And so now, because of the aggressive approach of the high interest rates that the Fed has had to get inflation down after the recovery, you're going to have to eventually start, all right, then cutting them. Otherwise, you're going to cause that recession. And so the revision of the jobs numbers is one sign. They're looking at a lot of data, of course, and they're realizing, given that fiscal policy, you see an impact on delay other than the stock market, you're doing something now, not because the economy is bad now, but because if you don't act in the way that they are, then down the road you could end up causing economic pain that's not necessary. We've gotten inflation under control, so let's start lowering those interest rates and continue stimulating the economy. They really have nailed the soft landing. And it's people like Larry Kudlow, I don't know if he specifically, but I'm sure he has, who question if that was even possible, and who seem to be rooting for more economic pain if it means Harris will be hurt politically. So I illustrate all that for you, because they're saying, no, this wasn't a strategic play to make sure the economy stays as strong as it is. but instead is a unjust, irrational action by the Fed to help Harris politically because you'll get a short-term boost. Okay. Time will tell. They're wrong. I think they're wrong. I think the Fed has proven in the last few years they won't just do what's politically advantageous, and they will do what's better for the economy. But if their job is to do what's better for the economy, and a good economy benefits Harris politically, cool. You shouldn't be rooting for more pain so that Harris is heard. You had this on Fox as well.
Watching all of that, quick look meanwhile at the corner of Wall and Broad. Wow. Big day for your money. Stocks surging the day after the Federal Reserve decided to cut interest rates for the first time in 4 years. We saw a fresh record for the Dow and the S&P 500.
These Fox hosts are watching the Harris economy, we'll call it. We should credit Biden. It's been the Biden-Harris economy, but as well as just the U.S. economy outside of their policies. They're watching themselves get so much richer because of it, but you still have introductions like this.
So, day after Fed Chairman Jay Powell sent Kamala Harris a 50 basis point election gift and completely...
Election gift. Ah. He seems so angry. Larry, you're good. Everything's fine. Not everything. Everything in your life seems to be fine. Actually, I don't know that either. Maybe you're working out something that's a personal problem, and that's why you're taking it out on Jerome Powell. Don't do that to Jerome. What did Jerome ever do to you, Larry? It's good news. It is good news electorally, by happenstance, and thus I'm kind of happy about it. But even if it were someone else in the White House that I didn't want to win, I'd be happy that an action that we know will benefit the economy and is already benefiting the stock market was shaken. Maybe, Fox, you should root for America and not just Trump. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show by clicking the join button below and get your election-themed merch. That's right, at LukeBeasleyMerch.com.